Welcome to another CentOS 7 learning module. In this module, we'll be talking about copying files and directories and moving files and directories using the cp command, the mv command, and rsync. Now, we're going to begin in our home directory, and I've set up a directory tree here that you are welcome to mimic. However, in order to practice copying and moving files, you don't need this exact directory tree. So if you want to pause the video and figure out the directory tree I have here, you can. It starts with a directory called new in my home directory. And then you can see here the structure that I have. You can set that up now by pausing the video if you want to follow along. Otherwise, again, you'll be able to copy and move things around for yourself, but this can present an opportunity for you to practice creating some directories and creating some basic files. That may be some good practice for you. CDing into the copy me directory, you can see that I've also set it up with file 1, file 2, file 3, and file 4. That's going to be used when I show you how to use rsync, and that way you'll be able to see the progress and how rsync is going to output that progress and show you that progress. So you'll need that if you'd like to follow along. For now, I'm going to start in the new directory. So again, you're welcome to set all of that up on your own, but it's really not necessary. You should be able to follow along copying and moving with any files that you already have on the system. Now let's start by learning how to move a file. Moving a file is quite simple. You'll type mv and then the name of the file that you would like to move, and then where you'd like to move it. Now in this case, I'm using the tilde symbol, which stands for our home directory. Again, it's just easier than typing home Cody. But I could type home Cody, or if I wanted to move it to another full path, such as user bin, I could do so, or I could move it to any other directory path that I would like to. In this case, I want to move it back one directory to my home directory, so I'm using the tilde symbol there. Using ls, I can now see that test1.txt is gone. It's been moved. And if I move back to my home directory and I list the contents there, I'll find test1.txt. That is where I moved it. So since we're moving something, we're taking it from one location, we're placing it in another location. That makes sense, right? That's not copying. We'll talk about that later. But moving is that simple. So back in our new directory, let's move a directory. See how easy that is. Same process, mv, the name of the directory you'd like to move, and then where you'd like to move it. Again, the home directory. You can see that it's gone here. And if we move back to our home directory, there's the move me directory. So moving files and directories is very easy, and copying is quite similar. However, there is a bit of a caveat for copying directories that we will talk about in a moment. Let's go ahead now and make a copy of test1.txt. So we're going to use the cp command and then the name of the file that we want to copy and where we want to copy it. In this case, I want to place a copy back into the new directory. So cp, name of the file, and then where you want to move it. You can see that test1.txt still resides in our home directory, and yet if we move into the new directory, there's a copy there as well. So we copied the file, and we took that copy of the file and we placed it somewhere else. In this case, the new directory. Let's try and copy the copy me directory back to our home directory from new. Now we're not going to be able to do this because copy me is a directory. So in order to move a directory, because a directory has a branching tree, because it contains files and it can contain other directories, we need to issue cp and then a capital R for recursive. Then we can put the name of the directory and where we'd like to move it. It's that simple. And we can now copy this directory with the recursive option. So now you see that copy me is in the new directory. If we move back one directory, you can see that there's now a new copy in our home directory. If you'll remember when I showed you how to create directories and remove directories, we talked about how you can't use the remove directory command on a directory which has files or anything else inside it. It simply won't work. So let me show you that again here. If I try and remove the copy me directory, I can't do it because the directory is not empty. However, what I haven't shown you is that you can, in fact, remove this directory with a single command. Now, I showed you previously how you would move into that directory, how you could clear it out, removing the files, and you might want to do that sometimes. But the reality is, if you want to get rid of a directory and it has a lot of files and a lot of subdirectories, that's just not going to be feasible. So you're going to issue the rm command and then the capital R option. Notice that I'm not using remove directory. I'm using the remove command because I'm going to be removing more than just directories. This directory contains files as well. So you issue rm and then the capital R recursive option. Just like we did with copying a directory, we can do this with the remove command, and then we can issue the name of the directory, and now you can see that it's gone. So this recursive option is very powerful, and with that, of course, comes great responsibility, as you can remove a directory and all of its subdirectories and all of its files. So you can just cut off one branch of your directory tree. Be very careful with using that recursive option. Now, finally, I want to show you rsync, and this won't take long because rsync is basically just going to show you progress where CP and MV don't. So let's say you want to move a large amount of data, gigabytes worth of data, which we won't be doing here, but we'll move a directory that has those files, file 1, 2, 3, and 4 inside it. And we'll be able to get the idea about the progress here that it shows you. We run rsync by typing rsync, and then we need a few options. A, which stands for archive. V, which stands for verbose. We're going to get more output there. Z means that we're okay compressing whatever we are syncing. And a capital P option shows us the progress of our transfer. So what we're going to do is, using rsync, we're going to copy the copy me directory back to our home directory. So rsync avzp, then copy me, the name of the directory, and then where we want to move it, the home directory. Issuing that command, you can see, of course, these are small files, they went very quickly, but you get a better sense for what's happening than when you use the CP or MV command. Now you can see that here in the new directory, copy me still exists, and if we move back to the home directory, copy me now exists here as well. The only difference using rsync rather than CP is that we're able to see progress with that capital P option, and that can be very helpful when you're moving a lot of files, a lot of convoluted or complex directory trees, or if you just want to know the speed of your transfer. Again, CP and MV just aren't going to give you that information, but you can get it with rsync.